Okay, so I'll change the subject. I watched an anime.
What?
Mind blown.
You want to talk about weird premises? Let's talk about this. I think you guys might have watched this anime before, but I'm not sure. It's called Utawarerumono. I'm not sure what the English translation for that is. When I looked it up, they refer to the anime in an English title as the one being sung, but I don't know if that's the actual translation for what I just said.
Oh, the False Faces, the season I watched last time.
Okay, so that's something related, but not the same thing.
Yeah, it's like the sequel to the whole thing.
Correct.
Utawarerumono, yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Okay, so I watched the first one. I'm just gonna refer to it as Utaware, because I'm not saying that whole shit again.
How do you spell it?
Utawarerumono.
Utawarerumono.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I know what it is now.
Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit. I didn't see the entire thing, but I know what it is.
Yes. Okay.
Dylan reviewed it not too long ago.
No, he
I
saw
reviewed the second season.
he saw the
the
second
second
one, which I don't think is actually directly related to the first one.
It is.
Is it the same guy? Because it
No,
doesn't look
yeah.
like it. It may
there's
be
been
the same
mystery.
mask. It's the same story, but it's not the same guy.
Right. It has more to do with his daughter, actually.
Okay, yeah. So the story is about a guy that he kind of just appears in like a forest. The villagers that find him kind of take him in and try to rehabilitate him because he's like he's like really badly hurt. There's something really strange about the guy though. He has a mask on his face that cannot be removed. And he also has no recollection of who he is. A series of events occur where he sort of helps them in a really sticky situation against like a quote-unquote deity that that was seeking vengeance on the village, and from there it kind of just escalates into him becoming like the leader of the village. Since he can't remember his name, they give him the name of somebody's who used to live in the village, so they name him Hakuro. As time goes on, things sort of escalate because like people try to take over the village. It's kind of like in a feudal time, so like there's a lot of war going on, and then he helps them out, he helps them fight, he helps them devise strategies to defend their village, and things just escalate. Like eventually it comes to the point where like there are nations fighting against each other, and he's like head of the army, in charge of everything.
It's almost like Lord Marksman.
In terms of like war in the anime, yes, but a lot of the anime is about like his origin, or like rather him not being able to remember his origin. And he, like, throughout the anime, he has like these flashbacks of like little clues here and there of what his real identity is, but he like really struggles throughout the anime to kind of piece it together. There is some like shape-shifting happening in this anime. It has to do with the mask that's on his face. It's sort of got some harem elements to it, but not really. Like they don't really get into it too much. Like there are certain characters that you get the feeling that they like the main character Hakuro, but there's only really like one person that is like in love with him, which is questionable in itself. I had a little bit of trouble with the with like the origin, like with his flashbacks and trying to piece it together. But I didn't really think that they took away anything from the anime. Like, it was just based on like how they find him and kind of bring him into the village and he kind of takes over and stuff. That in itself was good enough for me. Like, I like the aspect of him, like, even though he doesn't like his identity, I mean, he doesn't know his identity, he can't recall it, he still kind of, like, walks this righteous path sort of thing. That was really cool about the anime, I like that. But it is a little bit dated now. Like, it came out in, like, 2006. So,
Yeah.
The new one though, that one came out in 2015. So if you're looking for like a similar story, or like Dylan said about his, well, spoiler alert, daughter, you can check that one out. I actually knew about this anime for a really long time, and I just found it really strange that the main character was a guy with a mask on his face that he couldn't take off, but once I started watching the anime, it made a lot more sense to me. Like, it didn't really bother me as much. That probably won't bother anybody else in the world except me. Yeah, that's it. I mean, the only thing that I can really complain about is that I would have liked more story about how, like, I would have just liked a more clear explanation of who he is and how he came to be there, rather than just like the random flashbacks, because that's how it seemed to me. Even though there was a substantial amount towards the end, I just would have liked it more fleshed out, you know?
Yeah. I was like you once. No, you're right. You're right.
What does that mean?
Because, all right. So this is the thing. This anime, like, actually got me back into like a crazy animation streak. I just loved it, man. Back in the day, when it first came out, I read about it in a magazine, and it got like 10 out of 10 at the time. I just freaking adored this fucking animation back in the day.
I mean, it was really good. Like, the whole sequence of him kind of rising up to power, that was really, really good. I just would like the backstory.
Yeah, and you get a little more of that if you started watching the second season. But like, if you do some research, which I did, like, a lot of it is that he's like the first. He's basically a god. Or,
Okay,
like,
I gathered
Adam.
that.
It's basically very religious in some ways. He's basically Jesus in some ways, because this other counterpart is
Okay,
basically
but I
destruction.
don't think you understood what I said. I said I would have liked that to be explained in the anime. I don't want to do research on it.
Yeah, and even though they don't explain it that much, I kind of did like at the time that it was so mysterious, and it kept you.
You like the fact
Thinking.
that it's not clear what
Like,
his origin is.
yeah, I feel like it was so well done.
Have you seen the movie Cloverfield?
Yeah,
Do you understand what
I-
happened in the movie?
I really enjoyed that movie, actually.
It's a cool movie, but it's one of those movies where you have to do research afterwards to really understand what the heck is going on.
Yeah, and maybe that's just the kind of stuff I like.
And which is cool, but if I watch an anime that's 26 episodes, I would like some backstory.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person.
But I still think the anime is good. That it's just my criticism that I think they should have maybe planned a little bit more backstory in there.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like if you don't put like if somebody has to go out on a different site for people's opinions on what the anime is on, like then you're kind of just you wasted it. You might as well not even watch the anime because you're reading up on the anime.
Like, what if those resources weren't there? How am I supposed to discern what really happened in the anime? Like,
Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole animation is based on a video game, And I think people thought, at least when it came out, that fans of the game would watch the show, and they would know more about it than your usual
That might
person.
that could be true. I'm just giving
But
you my criticism. That's
yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you. This is the yeah. I mean, it was the first for me for a lot of things. Like it's the first harem anime that I watched, but that wasn't overly sexualized or like just hit you in the head over and over again. And the story and quality of it was fucking amazing for the day.
yeah. The
It's
rise to power portion of the anime was amazing. Like I probably have not seen anything that good um in terms of that in a long time.
yeah.
Um,
I'm kind of glad, kind of hold up for you, cause I wasn't too sure. I tried watching like a year ago with Rebecca, and we couldn't get through it. At least I could probably watch it, but in Japanese.
I can't.
I thought
I'm
the-
used to watching really old
The
anime,
Eng-
so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, the English version was unbearable.
I watched
I had
it in
like-
English.
You-
Basically, I give it a recommend. The entire action portion of the anime is amazing. My only critique is that I would have liked a little bit of clarification on the backstory. That's and if I had gotten that, it might have been like a really highly recommend.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I went to go and try and watch a few episodes, like the animation just seemed so old looking.
It is
for
old.
me.
It is old,
Yeah,
but
like,
I didn't watch it
for
for that.
2006. It looks really old. Like
That's also true. Even like if you compare it to stuff from the 90s, like it still looks kind of old.
yeah, and like I actually wanted to give it a try, but I just can't get past how bad it looks for me.
Yeah, I would love if they fucking just made
I'm gonna give you a trick right now, Alex. Buy a laptop with a really small screen, and it doesn't look that bad.
Mmm.
Yep,
Mm.
that's what's up. Right
Makes
there.
sense.
Yep,
Makes
dead serious. It works.
that's one show I would love a remake of.
Absolutely. You know what? If they remade this anime, and like I said again, just give a little bit more backstory to it, or it doesn't even have to be more backstory. Just they could show exactly what they showed in the original, but just explain it a little bit better. That'd be perfect. Or just don't kind of put it into random places in the anime. That'd be great too. Because I just felt like some of it was a little bit out of place. But I think the concept is really cool. And I gathered, even without doing any research or anything, I was like, okay, so he's a god, or he's somehow related to a god, and he kind of is just coming back and stuff. That's pretty cool. The premise of the anime is very cool. Either way, after I watched it, and I came to the conclusion that a lot of people think that it is a classic anime, or what they would consider to be a classic anime. I'm glad that I watched it, because it's a good story. And that's,
Maybe I'll try and go back to it, but I make no promises.
yeah, it's like if you don't go back to it just because of the animation, I wouldn't even be mad, because at this point it's kind of it's set its course already. Like what's done is done. Like you can't do anything about it.
Man, if I would have seen it when it came out, I think I probably would have appreciated it.
Yeah.
But considering how I didn't, then I'm not.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorites.
That's it. I didn't watch anything else yet, or I didn't complete anything else yet. So maybe next week I'll have something else for you guys.
I mean, just looking at the poster for it, like it looks old.
I almost feel like they could do a lot more with the anime, because like there were like even factions within the anime that they could have had like side storylines with it, and I don't know, like there are like these angel people, there are like a ninja faction. Nothing ever comes of it really. Like they're in like the midst of things, but they could have developed so much more story with that.
Yeah, they made a real big world.